But we drove through it to get home. I said, that's okay. No, it's okay. This is where my parents live, you know. It's so beautiful up there. I told Tara, I was like, if I get snowed in, I'm actually kind of okay with it. I would imagine, pretty. Oh.
I don't actually know. Well,
Hopefully they can hear us. I'm not sure which mic to use. Maybe I'll just.
okay. I'm gonna see. Hold my heads. Get 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. You're good.
Well, you can erase all the stuff I wrote on there if you need to.
Okay.
You can erase all of this if you need to.
Oh, no, I'm good, I'm good, I didn't want to grab that, so I wrote on the other side.
You're totally fine.
Just provided Tara lets me talk to her. She does, she'll give you a time limit. Don't roll your eyes, Bertie, if you're, it won't be that bad. That's English TV again, wow, been on the road a little bit.
Ah, okay.
Are these seats reserved in the front?
They're all yours. Okay. I think we're ready.
I'm ready.
I'm Anne Marguerite, so I'll go ahead.
Let's
Oh, everybody's so far back.
That's paid off these were reserved.
Hey, you're isn't that TV on? Oh my god, neither TV is on.
Sorry, yeah.
Can you guys see how difficult it is when Madison's not here?
This is everything she did.
This is like a real thing, like, oh, we know how to turn the TVs on in the market center.
This is a good demonstration of the fact that you guys stay within your 20% though.
No,
And
she's really, really good at what she does, which is keep all of this stuff running. Madison is out sick. Oh, so send her a little. Tell her that this place is a wreck without her. And how much you miss her.
well, that's how I got him.
Let me see this. I think I can use this one. Okay, we're gonna start with bucket fills. Just to get our energy up. I'm gonna fill y'all's bucket for getting out and coming through the treacherous weather to get here today. The PC
It's only
program.
treacherous if you're driving in like the grass. I mean, right, I mean, it's.
And it was so unbothered that when I text you, you were like, that's a thing, what's going on? What are you talking about?
That's gonna be yesterday.
So
I'm like, this is Kentucky, like, they could call for 10 inches of snow and the sun be out tomorrow. Like, I just don't know what's gonna happen, so we'll figure it out. Yeah. We've called it before and then come like this, so it's like, if y'all wanna come in, we'll have a valuable day with you.
Okay.
Alright, who else wants to fill a bucket? By the way, I did dress, assuming we were gonna run off the road and we'd have to like get pulled out.
And you get on my here. So, it's like,
No, I'm sure.
you go to the car breaks down, you know people that hold it, not gonna.
I wanna bet where thank you for always keeping me on track.
No problem.
Push me to do things and stuff.
And you were in here last, what, Monday or Tuesday signing a buyer?
Yeah.
That's very cool. I was just sitting outside going,
Like, is it happening? It's happening.
yeah, it's good, it was fun.
Sorry.
I also like to fill this spot because I was in full panic mode trying to fill out a contract for the first time, and she's like FaceTiming me from the car on her way home from seeing her family, so I appreciate that.
And but the reality is, cause I got a little text on that, like you had your license all of 3 minutes, and they. I had to go to an open house, and then it was like. We have to write a contract.
Yeah.
So y'all
great.
know, like, you can write business immediately in this business.
And good for you for doing it, like,
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes,
I'd like to fill Sherry's bucket. She does a really great Bible study, here at one of our groups, and everybody's welcome to join, but she just goes above and beyond with that, and it means a lot. It's really thought out. It's really very professionally done, and I appreciate the effort that you put in. Because it really, some days are harder than others, and you just need to get yourself recentered and. Thank you, Sherry.
Sherry is, this is like a pre-announcement, but Sherry is. Coming into our Associate Leadership Council for 2026.
Nice.
I think I can say we think she's gonna be leading a committee on wealth building, right? So if you're looking to grow your net worth, your wealth, invest.
Well, it's not gonna be just about real estate.
Yeah, all the things.
It's great.
So just like she does that well, she will be, I have seen her run committees before, she puts a lot of thought and intentionality into the values, so that'll be good. Okay, any other bucket bills? All right, we're gonna keep going. I think we have more December birthdays than these two, yet this week, Vanessa Williams and George Nator are having a birthday. So if y'all know these guys, shoot them a text message. Wait, what is today? Oh, it's the second. Thought we were gonna get to call somebody. I'm a little excited.
Be excited for George, guys. He turned 70 today.
Really.
Yeah. really
His inside voice is that.
Oh, yeah.
These are our December anniversaries, so congratulations to everybody this is your month, I guess, for joining Keller Williams.
Tara, how many years are you?
I joined in 2013,
Okay.
so 12 years.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah,
You're a tween.
yeah, I am.
How many years did you not take a call from Keller?
3 years. 3 years. I hung up the phone. I did not take the call. I hung up the phone on them. On both, so.
And here you are.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Donna and I were here last night meeting with a girl yesterday, and every one of us said, like, you'll hear us say, I wish I had come 3 years sooner. Wish I'd started 3 years sooner, but it always happens like it should. So, guys, I wanted to just say welcome to our new 2 Keller Williams agents in the month of November. And a lot of you guys are in the room. So look around. Emily, Oksana's here, Jennifer's here, a few of you are there. So welcome to Keller Williams. We're so happy to have you. Casey White is how I met Casey is he installed the deck on the back of Bo and I's house. So if you've been to our house, he and his father-in-law have a deck building business and they do an exceptional job. So if you ever need a deck guy, that's his other thing. Okay, and so when people join Keller Williams, they have sponsors. So I just want to say congratulations to Aaron Hickman, who is Jennifer's husband. He sponsored her, and then Curtis Brown is also got to sponsor the Hickmans. So. Which leads us into profit share, right? So when you sponsor people, you get to earn residual income, and this is our top 10 profit share earners for the month of November. So congratulations to you guys. It's a little leaner in the winter, doesn't it? So y'all keep selling a lot of real estate in the winter. And then I wanted to just share with you, this contest is going until the 19th. So if you refer I think it's a $2.5 million producer to meet with me and they join, you receive a $6,000 credit to your cap the year that they cap. So they'll cap next year. You will get a credit to your cap as soon as they hit their cap status. And we're doing some incentives too to get them here. So that's a win-win for you guys. Okay, what y'all paid for? We're going to talk about this lovely piece on your table. So this is, how many of you guys use this every year? Like, I keep this in my Google Drive. I use this all the time, and when I sold real estate. One of my focuses was for sell by owners and expireds, and we're gonna go over some for sell by owner data in here that. I would have it every single year memorized, and I use it in every conversation for sell by owner sell. So. What we're gonna do today is go through this, and honestly, I'm gonna read it all. Because this is my notes. And so if you have a highlighter or a pen, I would recommend just highlighting data points that you feel you can regurgitate or reuse in conversation to either get validity to who you are as a professional or to use it to help people move in a direction. And it's not a manipulation thing, it's just helping them understand the facts so they can make a good decision with buying and selling. Make sense? So go to page 3. And I'm gonna read it. And then when we get done, we're gonna do some ahas, but if anybody, as I pause between these paragraphs, if you highlighted something, you're like, I'm gonna use that, let's just share it. So we all can talk through like, how do we use this data, okay? So the National Association of Realtors Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers is an annual survey of recent home buyers and sellers who completed a transaction between July 2024 and June of 2025. This flagship report has been published since when?
1981.
That was the year I was born, 1981. The annual report allows industry professionals to gain insight into detailed buying and selling behavior. Each iteration of the report is as unique as the economic, social, and demographic environment in which it's published. So it's a little different every year because it's a different pool of people that they're surveying, okay? Next paragraph, each year provides new opportunities and challenges for buyers and sellers. From the middle of 2024 to the middle of 2025, this I highlighted. The market continued to show extremely limited housing inventory. I think that might be important to just know. Which actually, I don't believe in this, so we'll talk about that in this paragraph. I'm gonna object on that one. The inventory entering the housing market, those are the keywords, entering the housing market, was often at unaffordable price points for potential homebuyers. During the data collection time period, mortgage interest rates averaged 6.69%. Is that important? Probably need to know that data, right? As a result of decreased housing affordability and limited housing inventory, potential first-time homebuyers retreated further from the housing market. Homeowners continue to watch their housing equity grow. I think that's important, right? Homeowners that own homes are seeing that equity grow. The housing market remains divided between an all-time high on all cash buyers and an all-time low of first-time home buyers.
It's crazy.
It is, it's different. So why I said I object on this is because it said the inventory is low. So if I ever hear you guys say the inventory is really low, I'm going to challenge that. You've heard me say this before. Because the reality is there's more inventory on the face of planet Earth today than there ever has been. And builders are still building. It's just off-market inventory. We're gonna get into some buyer data and what they want, but the reality is we may have to actually work to get out and find inventory that's not on the market to service the clients at the highest level. It's okay that it's not on the MLS. We can get out in these neighborhoods and find inventory that exists. Like a lot of sellers don't know how much equity is in their home. Would you guys agree? Yeah, that was a big one. I highlighted. Any other big takeaways in that paragraph for you guys?
The all-time, the first-time home buyer is 40 years old.
Yes.
So a lot of times when we traditionally think of a first-time home buyer, we assume we're talking to someone in their 20s. But people in their 40s still don't understand how this process goes. That's really what the conversation is. And we have to communicate with people the way they want to be communicated with. And a 40-year-old maybe wants to be communicated with a little bit differently than maybe that target that we were looking at in somebody in their 20s.
Yeah, I'm 45. I've probably bought 25 houses in my life, whether investments or owner occupied. So even acknowledging that my perception of purchasing is going to feel a lot different than a 40-year-old that's never bought a home. Like, you gotta go back to ground zero for these guys and not assume they know what's going on. They don't.
We can't
right?
assume based on someone's age that they've had the experience.
That's right, yeah. Okay, so next paragraph, and you'll see this one reflected on this slide. First-time homebuyers in the last year shrank to a historical low of just 21% of all the buyers. Prior to 2008, the share of first-time homebuyers had a historical norm of about 40%. So like in the last, what is that, 15, 16 years, it's gone from them being 40% of the buying pool to 20%. Right? At the same time, the share of first-time homebuyers is at its lowest level. The age of the first-time homebuyer has risen to a record high. The median age of first-time homebuyers is now 40. In the 1980s, the typical first-time homebuyer was in their late 20s. First-time homebuyers who are successful, I highlighted this line. First-time homebuyers who are successful in purchasing cite high rent and student loans as two foremost costs that hold them back from saving. Among the elite first-time homebuyers who can enter the market, they are most likely to use their personal savings, so 59% of them use their personal savings or financial assets, 26% for their down payment. In past years, reports a gift or loan from a friend or relative were more common for first-time homebuyers of financial assets. So I just said Sherry's gonna she's gonna lead a committee on wealth building. Based on that line, how important is it, do you guys think, for you as an agent to be able to consult people on building wealth? Like these guys are using savings, they're using financial assets, right, in order to do their purchase.
Another thing that I hear when you say that too is that it's even more important now than ever that we have a really good relationship with our lender partners.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a lot of people are still, even at 40, getting help from mom and dad to make that purchase. And if that's what's happening as a gift, there are gift limits. And it's going to affect the type of loan they can get and how much they can borrow.
Yep. And I was meeting with somebody today. Was it you? Somebody I talked to today had sent a client to meet with Dana and they were working on the approval and they weren't quite there. But what they'll do is they'll consult them on what they need to do to get ready, right? So the sooner you get them in front of a loan officer, even if you don't think they qualify, they're gonna get educated on the specific parts of their credit score, right? Like you can pay off a credit card sometimes and your score will drop. You can close a credit card and your score will drop. So them understanding those actual triggers is really important. Put them in front of a professional or go get yourself certified to do credit counseling, right?
Can I throw something in right real quick?
Sure.
Because I just now walked in. One of the things that's really nice about this tool is, I think sometimes when we're explaining things to customers, we don't always have the right words. And then we talk around it, we talk and and this, and it's kind of like, and it's this and the other. The great thing about the way this is written is you can learn the story that you need to tell, use these words. Right? And if I'm a new agent and I'm newly licensed, this becomes a we conversation. In other words, well, one of the things that we are seeing in the market right now is that there's a shortage of home buyers. Matter of fact, the National Association of Realtors recently did a study and there's some numbers in here where it talks about 20, first-time home buyers being just 21% of the buyer pool. That's an historic low, right? So Mr. Seller, so now when you're speaking to these people, it doesn't just turn into, I want to sell my house for 500,000. Well, you really need to be at 460. Yeah, but I want 500. Yeah, but you really, it needs to be 460. If that's the conversation, it's never going anywhere, right? But the story that you can tell them will start to take them in a direction and you'll get more traction, right? They just need to hear it in a different way other than just.
Actual data.
Yeah,
I think
exactly, yeah.
validates it.
Yeah.
You guys could take these two you can buy the full version of this, by the way. I think it's $20 on realtor.com. I just did the free download. But you might even put these in a plastic sleeve in your buyer and seller presentation. And what Kelly did is she dropped this PDF in ChatGPT and had it kick out the highlights. So you could have this actual thing, the highlights for buyers and sellers. And then when you're meeting with them and they start asking questions, you can just flip to the data and say, hey, I'm just telling you what is the data based on the people that bought and sold last year. I think, you know, Bo's right. How do we use this? Yeah, okay.
Did you read the whole thing yet?
I'm still on, I'm on the bottom paragraph of page 3. So I'm gonna flip the slide. You guys will share these slides, so if you wanna cut slides into your presentation too, you're welcome to. Highlighting the rupture in the housing market is the changing landscape for repeat home buyers. This is interesting. Repeat buyers can enter the housing market with large down payments, median of about 23%. 30% paid cash and did not finance their home. So let's look at this. This is the median down payment of the first time home buyer.
Thank you.
And repeat buyers. And you can see here. Kind of the repeat buyers are putting somewhere around 23% down. Why are they doing that? Where's that money coming from?
Equity in the other property.
The sale of a home that had equity, most likely, right? They're rolling that equity into their down payment. And then you'll see there all buyers where they're landing. So people are putting more down. I mean, so if you can find, I know David's working on that. Kentucky housing product or things like that, and then you advertise, hey, you can purchase with me for 3% or 5% down, you might capture more home buyers that think they need 10 or 20% down, right?
You're actually at 2025, you're almost at a historic high, you're almost at the highest it's ever been, with the exception of 1 or 2 years from 1989. You walk away to the left and you look at that point, and then you come over here to the right,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Yep. And they're also probably putting more down because of what?
Interest rates.
The rate. Yeah, they're putting more down because of the rate, because it's gonna impact ultimately what, the only thing they care about, which is what? Their payment. Yeah. Okay, so, repeat buyers have continued to earn housing equity at home, as home prices increase. Home sellers have owned their home for an all-time high of 11 years before selling and making a housing trade. Used to be like 5-year average, then it was 7, now it's 11 years for sellers on average. This is the cash. I was gonna show you. So this is all cash buyers, you guys, 26% of the buyers in the last, that year were all cash. Crazy. For repeat buyers, this was the same down payment as 2024, but it's the highest down payments that we've seen since 2003. This year, down payments also grew for first-time home buyers. The typical down payment for the first-time home buyer was 10%, which matches the highest shared record since 1989. Okay, you guys highlighting good stuff? Repeat buyers also have the highest median age at 62. The average age of a repeat buyer is 62 years old. So when you all see those 60 to 70-year-olds and you're like, oh, they're probably coming out of their house and going into some sort of community, the reality is they're probably getting ready to buy a second home now, right? Okay.
Or they're not going to stay there forever, which you get that objection too, right? Oh, God, we'll never buy another one, we're gonna, I'm gonna die here, right, or stop, right? No, they're really not,
Yeah.
really not, and Tara's gonna get into the rest of this paragraph, which talks about what really is driving them to sell and buy another.
Yeah, that's important. So as half of the repeat home buyers are over the age of 62, they are driven by the desire to purchase a home to be closer to friends and family. 20% of them want to be closer to friends and family. It should be noted that while this is the top reason to purchase a home, neighborhood preferences have also changed. Among all buyers, I highlighted this. The quality of the neighborhood, that's 59%, and convenience for friends and family was 47%, are the top factors in the neighborhoods they choose. Convenience to the home buyer's job has continued to decline incrementally and is now at 31%, down from 52% in 2014. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If the neighborhood is important, like where they live and proximity to friends and family in an area, what are some things we could be doing to target these people?
The actual person that's selling. or-
Yeah, like how do we get, if they're looking in neighborhoods as an agent, how do you get to that lead?
Their friends that live in the neighborhood.
Through their friends that live in the neighborhood, which means what are some things we could be doing to grow our business? door knocking, farming, you guys. 59% of repeat buyers are picking neighborhoods because of the people that live there. So if we wanna get that buyer, we gotta know the people that live in these neighborhoods, right? So you go to like circle prospecting, targeted open houses, farming a neighborhood. That's gonna be your best shot, cause somebody's gonna call them and say, oh my gosh, a house just went up on the market in my neighborhood. That's how they're finding them.
You're going back again to the fact that 75% of the buyers find their agents through a friend, family member, or someone like that, right? So now it's like, hey, Sally, you know, that house down the street's for sale. I don't know how much you wanted to live in Olive Ridge, or you wanted to be in this neighborhood and stuff like that. So again, it's database, it's frequency, it's the farming piece.
Well, and I think it comes down to also, you know, we tell ourselves this story that the inventory is low and this kind of stuff. I mean, I can tell you, in my particular neighborhood, I just bought in the last 6 months. And I can tell you, a house comes on the market and it sells.
Yeah.
It's a good neighborhood, it's a good school district, those kinds of things, like. Inventory might be low, but the drive is there, people are ready to buy. People have no one yet has knocked on my door and said, hey. I want somebody that wants to buy your house, cause guess what? Everything's for sale, if people are willing to sell it, like,
That's right.
give me the right number.
If they knew the equity, they may. And I mean, like, here's the thing, when the market got really hot with multiples, we talked about, like, in these meetings. Doing an office exclusive or a coming soon, let's say you did a coming soon, so you cannot show that property till it goes live on the market. You could do a coming soon on Wednesday or even Monday. Send a postcard mailer out to the neighborhood to invite them to an 11 a.m. open house. Neighborhood only exclusive viewing. And that property goes live at 11 a.m. on the market, and you have a 2-hour block for open house, and then everybody schedules after it. You're literally putting yourself in front of all the neighbors. That makes sense? Was that complicated? So that's using these numbers in a strategic way to put yourself in front of that neighborhood traffic, right? Before it ever hits the market. And here's the reality, if they have a friend or family trying to move there, what are they gonna do? They're gonna bring them to that open house,
Yeah.
right? So just be thinking about how you can use this to win. Okay, next section, among all home buyers, 61% are married couples. Guys, hang on, because I'm gonna go through some data, it might hurt your feelings, but it's all good. We're in sales. 61% are married couples, 21% are single women, and 9% are single men. Among first-time home buyers, 25% of buyers are single women and 10% are single men. So you can do whatever you want with that information. But I have my thoughts. As the share of married couples remain flat at 50%. The share of home buyers with children, this is really interesting. The share of home buyers with children under the age of 18 fell to an all-time low of 24%. Crazy. Well, it's because the median age of those move-up buyers is 62.
Yeah,
They're
they're not
empty
that-
nesters.
yeah, they raised their kids in a rental home,
Yeah,
essentially.
yep. A reduction of home buyers with children is likely being shaped by the reduction in birth rates and a rise in older repeat buyers. Additionally, a steady share of buyers cite childcare expenses are actually a barrier to them saving for a down payment. Okay, 80%, so next slide, 80% of home buyers purchase their home through a real estate agent or broker, 88%. So when you talk to those buyers that are like, I'm not signing a buyer rep agreement, can we use that stat? Hey, I get I understand where your mind may be on this, and let's talk about how this works, because the reality is 88% of home buyers purchase through a real estate agent or broker. Right? Home buyers primarily sought help, and these three remain the same every single year. The data just changes a little bit, and I wrote next to this is your value statement. So we talk about the elevator pitch. What is your value proposition such that any buyer or seller in the market should do business with you over the 4,000 other agents they could choose from? And all of us are gonna say, I'm trustworthy, I answer my phone, I respond. And I keep, all that's your fiduciary duties. So if you wanna have a compelling value statement, I'm getting ready to tell you the 3 things to talk about, because that's what they're telling us they want.
If you're gonna talk to a for sale by owner, you pull this slide out, it can be part of your presentation, you can let them know, and basically the message is from since 2003. Selling your house on your own was a bad idea then, it's always been a bad idea, and it's never changed. The line, if you look at that black line right there, it's basically completely flat, there was never a time where being a FSBO was hot or a great idea, it's never happened. And builders aren't out there taking people's clients. That's not happening either, because you can look right there and see that at a high of 15, and today it's sitting at 4, but it's been as low as probably 3 or 2. So just be careful about the dialogue and the story people tell you, because much of that comes from them trying to make themselves feel better or make themselves feel like they're doing the right thing. They're almost just selling themselves. It's always been, ever since I've been in the business, it's been boom. You want something done? Go hire a real estate agent to get it done. It's almost 90% being, that's just, that's just the way it is. Tremendous amount of value that you guys bring to the table. You drive that number, not the consumer. Everyone in this room drives that number with the service you bring and the heart that you play with every day.
Okay, so here's your value statement. Home buyers primarily sought help with 3 things. Finding the right home to purchase, 50% of them said they need help finding the right home to purchase. And negotiating terms of the sale, 13%, and help with price negotiations and paperwork. That's 12 and 7. So when you add all of those together, your 82% of the home buyers want help finding the right home to purchase, negotiating the terms of the sale, the price, and the paperwork. So if you just wanted to say something about yourself that you do well, and you say those 4 things, you've captured 80% of what they all want anyway. You don't have to make anything up. The thing I will say here, 50% of them want help finding the right home to purchase. So they tell you, I want to buy a house in Autumn Ridge. Okay, well, there's no inventory on the market in Autumn Ridge. So I'll put you on a search with MLS and it'll let us know when something hits the market. Sound good? And so you're doing exactly what Zillow does for them. You're doing what they can do on their own. Any agent in town can do that. So what do you do to help them find the home that they want to purchase? What are you willing to do to get them a house in Autumn Ridge? That's what you want to think about, because when you talk to them and you say, here's what I do differently. If you want to buy in a certain neighborhood and there's no inventory, here are the 5 things I'm going to do to scour that neighborhood and find the off-market inventory you're looking for. Postcard mailers, door knocking, targeted open houses, like talk to for sale by owners, whatever that is. But you can win with buyers by telling them that you prospect for off-market inventory. Yes.
So I had a realtor that had a customer that she was looking at a house. Basically, she wants to spend no more than $1,000. Okay, on payment. And once I found that out, I called the customer up last night. Customer was like, I don't think we can find anything. I said, no, we can't. No, probably, but I said, let me go, I'm calling. So I called her up and I said, you're truthfully not gonna be able to find something like that. I said, and looking at your equity or what your debt to income is, I said, you're fine. And she was like, well, what can I do? And so we went from probably about $120,000 range up to 200,000
In a conversation.
in conversation. Got her saying, yeah, I can do that. I said, you're still fine. You're like 33% debt income. You're fine. And I said, so then I reached back to the realtor and Keller Williams. And I was like, hey, I said,
Good news.
we're good.
Yeah.
I said, give her a call. And I said, here's your pre-quals. Go for it.
So they only know what they see on media, the news, or on social media, or someone has told them. So like I shared, you weren't in here, but like get them in front of a professional because they'll educate them. And the reality is if your database is getting information from social media and the news, we're not doing our job well. They should be getting this from you in those 36 touches a year. You should be educating them on what they can do in this market, what you do in this market, and that they can buy and sell right now, right? Okay, so next slide, is this helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next slide, the number of weeks a buyer searches for a home removes steady at 10 weeks. 10 weeks compared to last year. Due to limited inventory, it's not surprising that buyers continue to report the most difficult task in the home buying process is finding the right home to purchase. The cool thing is you guys can go prospect for that. However, overall, 92% of home buyers are satisfied with the process. So, 10 weeks. Now, what do we have to do really, really well for 10 weeks? What we're not, well, actually, what we're not typically good at.
Follow up.
Follow up. Guys, it's follow up. So that's 2.5 months of follow up with a lead. And more than 80% of deals closed happen as a result of follow up. Because if you meet with somebody, I'm gonna be honest, I'm transactional, okay? The first 10 years of my business, I looked for hot leads and I had no system to keep up if they weren't gonna buy now. So I just went around and looked for people that were gonna buy and sell now. And if they weren't, I'd say I probably lost the lead. And they would stumble into an open house somewhere and buy. So the name of the game at 10 weeks is you need a pipeline report, or you need to use your opportunities tab, your Trello board in Command, and have every single lead in there. And you're touching them. I mean, honestly, 10 weeks, I probably touch them every week. Right? Talk to them every week. Tell them what you're doing to prospect for off-market inventory. They get your MLS stuff. So here's what I'm gonna do today to find property for you.
Even if there's nothing to share because you haven't found something or nothing is available, you follow. And you let them know, hey, I'm still looking, haven't found anything to search your criteria. If you see something that I haven't seen, I'm human, or let me know, but they need to know. It's either for sellers or buyers, even if you don't have activity. At the very minimum, weekly, you have to touch these people because that's gonna be the strongest value.
Yeah,
Because a lot of areas, it's lack of that.
And we have the
Yeah.
tools to remember, like, it's all built into Command in terms of. You make the note, you set a task,
Yeah, your task.
so when you log in every day, it's right there, who to follow up with, who to talk to. We just have to know how to use the tool, and we have to use the tool,
Do the job.
that's it.
Have to do
That's it.
the job. Yeah.
You know, and you'll find yourself at an L-bar function, somebody's gonna walk up to you, probably some, somebody like me that's old and has gray hair. And, they're gonna talk about home search and things like that. Here's the thing to remember, in the last 25 years, the lowest point was 7 weeks. And the highest was 12. Your system that you're running day to day, today at 2025 versus 2003, it doesn't look much different. So let's not get caught up into the story of how long it takes, how long we have to search, and keeping my people engaged. There's more distractions out there, but make no mistake, as far as actual time we're spending in the field, it's not very much. You look at from 2014 to today, we get down there at about the 9 week month or mark, but at the end of the day, look how many years it was 10 weeks. Nothing new out there, guys. It just feels like it with social media and all this stuff, this rapid transfer of knowledge
Well,
or information.
agents in our market and every market in the United States, they just mastered how to be high touch for 10 weeks. I mean, that's it. They have a system. I have a pipeline personally. You guys wanna guess how often I look at it? Every day. Every day. Every day. I got leads, I have appointments I set, I have appointments I hold, and then I have follow-up, and I go through it every day, right? And that's what you do in sales, right? That's
What
what
was,
we
what was Ben Kenny's follow-up on someone that he just met?
10 days of pain.
Yeah.
New lead comes into your database, Ben Kenny always taught, that he would touch it 10 times in 10 days to get a response. He called it you can probably Google Ben Kenny's 10 days of pain, it's probably on YouTube and everywhere else, but.
Not painful with the client, painful for the agent
Yeah.
to do something consistently.
I mean, but he,
Yeah.
yeah, so, okay, next one is 91%. Oh, this is getting into the really good stuff. This is where we make a lot of money with listings. 91% of sellers sold with the assistance of a real estate agent, up from 90% last year, and only 5% of homes sold were sold for sale by owner. It's an all-time historical low since they collected data in our industry. sellers place a high priority. Okay, before I go into that, did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
So every single for sale by owner on the market right now, y'all need to be talking to. I would say it, usually in the full report, it'll say, so 95, I would say 95% of people are gonna sell their home with a real estate agent, right? And most people list their house within 2 to 3 weeks, meaning for the Mr. For Sale by Owner, how long are you planning to market yourself? Because we know that less than 5 homes are sold by for sale by owner sellers. And you're most likely to list this with an agent within 2 to 3 weeks. Do I have permission to stay in touch with you? I'd love to be an option when you decide to list the house. Usually they list it within a week. When I listed these, they listed within a week. Some of them I called the first day and I listed their house on day 2. It's that bad.
Up to that appointment, ready to list that property, because they will, with the right presentation.
You tell them
Show them a
that.
graph like this. Here's another thing that I think is really interesting. Look at what's happened from 2022 to 2025. See that nice gradual incline right there, which is taking us from probably sub 90 to 91%. So your non-settlement was right in there. Remember all the hysteria on Facebook, I'm not gonna work for free, and I'm worth something, and all that pushback you heard from real estate agents. Here's the thing, the consumer still thinks we're incredibly valuable. So understand that number is climbing. Your average commission is climbing. It's higher than it's ever been. So get on board with full disclosure, explaining your value, buyer's rep agreements, when you take those listings, all of those things. Because here's what they did. They answered what the buyers and sellers wanted. We're on the way up, team. The things that we thought were gonna happen was that yellow number was gonna start plummeting, but it didn't. It's gone up. So we're talking about our value. We may have had to been forced to, but we're talking about our value. We're sharing our value prop. And guess what? They're listing. And we're getting more listings, and we're closing at a higher percentage.
Okay, second part of that statement is. And I want to go into the next sheet on your page with this one, but sellers placed a high priority on the following 3 tasks. So I told you what buyers wanted, right? Here's what the sellers want. They want help marketing the home to potential buyers. They want help pricing the home competitively. And they want to sell the home within what? A specific time frame. So when you're talking to the sellers, and we're going to go through a marketing strategy here, but I think you definitely need to be asking, in your mind, what's the ideal timeline for me to sell your house? Sure, we're gonna list it for 6 months, but what's your ideal timeline? Because they might say, I expect you to sell it in 2 weeks. Do you think that's important to know?
Very much.
We need to know that. That's gonna help with pricing, right? They may say, well, it might take a year. Okay, that's gonna absolutely impact how it's priced. So we've got to know their timeline so you can match and exceed their expectations of you doing your job, right? And then you're going to price according to their timeline, most likely. But let's talk about how we market homes. So I'm going to use a bold script. My bold code friend is over here. It's probably already running through his mind. So, Mr. Seller, most agents do what? They do the 3 Ps of real estate. They put your house on the market, they put a sign in the yard, and they pray that it sells. Now, I do something a little differently. What do? I do the 4th P. I prospect daily for buyers that can qualify and purchase your home. So the question is, if most agents put a sign in the yard and put it on the MLS, can we all agree that's what most agents do?
Yeah.
Maybe a social post? That's not marketing a list. That's not marketing a listing. You're just doing what every other agent does, and you're hoping that somebody out there has a buyer that's qualified and will sell it for you. Okay?
Really compliance, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, you have to do it.
You're a member of an association. You gotta do that regardless.
So I did a 1-to-1, I consult the top 20%. And I did a 1-to-1 with one of our top 20% about 2 years ago. And they had listed a luxury property and were kind of in a panic. First of all, the seller expected that luxury home to sell in 7 days or less. So the timeline is important, okay? And it was sitting. And so I said, let's get on a Zoom and talk about because she was gonna lose the listing. Let's talk about what you're doing to market. So we get on the Zoom. And I say, okay, we got a luxury property. What is your marketing plan? I put a sign in the yard. I put it on the MLS. And I put a post on social media. So guess what I did? I opened this lovely little red book. And I've taught this to you guys before, so if it's repeat, I'm sorry. In the MREA, if you turn this sheet, the back side of it, this is literally out of the book. This is this sheet in the book. I Googled it and found this it's dated, but pretty dated version. So this is the 14-step seller marketing plan. So you say, how long are you expecting it to take to sell? Okay, let's talk about pricing. Now let me show you what I do, my 14-step plan to market listings for my sellers, because remember, 99% of the agents in this market are gonna do the 3 Ps, and this is the 4th P. Okay, so I'm gonna read through this. Do I have time? 11:48, do you have time? Yes. Now, some of these are a little dated, but I personally have done this in training. I think every single one of them is effective. Price your home strategically to be competitive with current market and current price trends. You're gonna stage the home to showcase features that the buyers are most interested in, unclutter the rooms and closets, fresh paint, and pleasing drive appeal. Y'all do that, right? We walk around, we talk to them about getting it ready. Yes, Oksana?
I want to add something in because I do this all the time. One of the things you get your sellers to be on board when it comes to number 2 is to tell them that you're not just selling a house, you're creating an experience. The photos that you put out there will get people in the door, but the experience that you create when you walk in is what's gonna get you offers. And it's a no-brainer. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then you get them on your side. And if they have to pay for staging, they'll find budget. And they'll make it part of the budget, if that's something they can do. If not, obviously, you don't want them to go broke. You do virtual staging on these, but yeah, the way you approach that, it's gonna really show that you know how to position the home to sell. It's gonna make them feel.
And particularly if they're at a price point where new homes are selling, you can say to them, understand at your price point, your direct competition are the brand new homes.
Oh, yeah,
selling at the other side of town.
So,
Go look at their.
So, if you wanna know what your home needs to look like, you need to go walk through one of those model homes that is your direct competition.
Yeah, it's super smart. Like, here's the thing. Most agents just walk through and tell them how to get it ready. Like, you guys are like mini stagers, right? Or go get a staging certification or have a staging company you refer if you really need it, or it's like a luxury price point. But here's the thing, most of us do that, right? But do we talk about it as part of our marketing strategy? Probably not, right? Okay, number 3, place put for sale signage up with property flyers that are accessible to drive-by prospects. Now, this is the old flyer box, and I asked this in this room a year ago, 6 months ago. When I got my license, Bluegrass Realtor sells flyer boxes, and we put them up in front of every property. And it's kind of a pain, because you either gotta mail the seller flyers or drop them flyers by. But if you put the flyer with a QR code that takes them to your website, it'll capture that lead, and now you're prospecting for buyers. Now, I asked in this room, I said, did anybody put a flyer box up recently? I don't remember who it was, they raised their hand, they put out, I think, 50 flyers, and they were gone within 48 hours.
are those still effective? You think? I haven't tried those. I gotta be honest.
Somebody in this room 6 months ago said, I put a flyer box out. 50 flyers were gone in 48 hours. Now,
Particularly if it's a walkable neighborhood.
yeah,
Where people are walking by with their dogs.
They usually are. If you're in a neighborhood, there's always usually.
I could do a QR code, like I would do limited info on the flyer. Scan here to view all of the properties, photos, price, all that. Then they scan, and your website asks them to register. So you're gonna, then when they register, I have a slide on this, when they register, it drops into your command as a lead. It's all their contact info. So, this is an old school method. We used to do it, and somewhere along the way, we just started doing the 3 Ps, not the 4th P. That's a 4 P strategy, right? Okay. Advertise your home in print media, magazines, in the World Wide Web. Your property is gonna get syndicated, but I would recommend talking about how it's getting syndicated and what you do to get it out on all these websites online. Distribute just listed marketing to neighbors, encouraging them to tell their family and friends about your listing. You can do that in 5 minutes in command. You can do a just listed postcard, just like that.
Yeah, so with my coach today, I was talking about the neighborhood feature implement and how effective it is for our market. Just say it's a really good tool. I think you mentioned already that, but I think will benefit from it.
The postcards?
Yeah, well, the neighborhood search feature actually.
Oh, yeah.
Within the system. She was telling me that it's not super effective for all the markets,
Yeah.
but for, she asked me to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do property searches in there, the neighborhood nurtures are awesome.
Can you leverage for bar, like for, the nurturers or maybe like home valuations from,
Yeah.
from command?
Yeah, I would do a postcard and have them scan a QR code to do a CMA.
Oh,
And
really?
I think there's some already pre-built in what it'll put on there, so yeah, for sure. Optimize your home's internet presence, we do that, right? Create a virtual tour of the home and put it on multiple websites, I get it out on social media, so we're gonna do a video, I did video on every listing I took before I stopped selling full time. Couple $100, but it promoted me, promoted the listing, and we used it on social media to capture leads. Target my marketing to active real estate agents that specialize in selling homes in that neighborhood. So you can go into the MLS and search every home that's been sold in the last 12 to 24 months. And you can see the agents that sold it. So if they're if they're a selling agent, they may have a stack of offers on a property that didn't get to come to fruition. You may have a buyer already, right? Create a home book. You don't have to do a DVD. Comment cards and flyers showcasing additional information, photos of the home and neighborhood will attract attention. Include your home in the MLS tour. Advertise it in any Keller Williams magazines, newsletters, or direct mail campaigns. Constantly monitor the market. Target to active buyers and investors in the database, and then I will provide you with weekly updates, right? Detailing marketing efforts, including comments from prospective buyers or agents. We did this every Friday with every single seller. My assistant, when I say we, my assistant did this. She was great at it. But she would go through showing time and send them the showing time reports, how many people looked at it, all the results, upcoming open houses, and online activity. We used List Hub at that time, so we could see how many people had looked at it. So you can add anything you want to this, but can you guys see how telling a seller an actual marketing strategy, then you're gonna do exactly what Oksana said. Mr. Seller, this week I did this, here's what the results, and here's what I'm gonna do next. Next week I'm doing this, then next week, you're gonna do that, you're gonna say, I did that, and here's what I'm gonna do next, so they just know you're following the plan and you're doing the thing you said you do to get the property sold.
And one of the strategies I use, by the way, I don't throw everything at them on day one. Once they're on my side, I leave some tools in the toolkit, because if I see that listing is not moving, I'll pull that tool out and I'm like, okay, this is what we
Try
try
something
next.
else.
Yeah, so I try to, depending on the price point and depending on the listing, some you have to be more aggressive than other. But I try to not use all my tools.
So we used to have an agent here that had a 7% listing package. And actually, he had in his presentation, his 7% package. And then I think he had a 6% option, and he put everything he did for 7%. And when they said, well, would you list it for 6? He'd say, tell me what on this list you want me to take off. Or here's what I'll do for 6. And he listed most of his homes at 7% just by actually communicating what he was doing. So start there, and then like, here's the reality, maybe invest in a video or something, because you're collecting a little more commission. Right? Any ahas? We're done with that section. Any ahas on this? Lots of flyers. The flyers. Yeah, get your flyer boxes out. I gave one of those away last year. We found it in the closet. You remember that, Brittany? You were here.
And I do feel that because we're so technology based now and everything is electronically done, people like paper. They'll like to read. It's like, okay, this is nice. They won't stop it. Like, yeah, they'll like going back to the old schools, and it kind of like, reminds them we're all humans, and the whole AI, I don't know, people like paper now and read it.
You're gonna pull them online too, right? So why don't we do offline is pull them online, so that
Yeah.
flyer, that QR code, that's how they open it up, they get to see your virtual tour, all your photos, everything that's, the house itself, because maybe they just drove by. The flyer became the link to go there, and then you capture, you follow up.
Well, here's the thing that's not on here that is important. Command, you guys can do a seller exclusive listing landing page for every listing you have. Which means you can actually tell sellers, I'm gonna put together a custom website portal on your property. That's the QR code you
Yep.
use. You do the seller landing page. And so they're gonna go directly to that landing page and it's gonna have everything about that property, commute time, the school scores, all the things, and that takes about 5 minutes doing it.
That's so easy.
So that is, like, if you told every seller you met, like, hey, I'm gonna actually do a custom website for your listing, what do you guys think they would say?
Wow, nobody else said that.
I mean, nobody, nobody's doing that, right? Okay, any other ahas from this? Yes,
I think it's really interesting that you mentioned looking at properties that sold in specific neighborhoods where you might have a listing and. I never thought about reaching out to the agent who looks at it and maybe they do have offers that they can reach back out to that didn't actually get to. Go through that time, that's really valuable.
okay, so I don't know how to use this, but I did show this slide last week or a couple weeks ago. One of the top ways to sell real estate is to use the reverse prospecting tool from the association. I think reverse prospecting, when you have a listing that matches the criteria of another agent, I think it contacts them and says.
It'll give you a list of everybody that has somebody that has a saved search
In
that
that
has like
criteria.
properties that match that criteria. So you can then reach out to the agent and say, hey, it looks like you've got an agent in your database, or you've got somebody in your database that's interested.
So that's what that's saying is use reverse prospecting to contact agents. Also who sold there, but also maybe they have clients looking there that they may miss it. Cause you can get on the phone with somebody and sell that better than just the auto prospecting emails, right? Right? Okay, any other ahas? Okay, I just wanna touch on this real quick, cause I love you guys and I want you to win at a really high level. When you're sharing social media posts, so many of you guys are doing this, you're sharing flyers on social media, your open houses on social media. You wanna always use the custom property link for that specific property. You guys want me to show you how to do it?
Yes.
Okay. It's 12 o'clock, so we're gonna go fast. Okay, so every single one of you has a website domain. You need to know your website domain. Mine is my name. Who has an active listing that I can hold open this weekend? I'm not gonna hold it open, but what's your address?
216 Chippendale Circle.
216 Chippendale Circle. And Dale.
I think it's it's Chip and Dale.
I like how you keep it there, chip and sail.
Dale, yeah. So, yeah, I know, I'm almost there. So, if it has the green dot, it is, the active listing. So I'm gonna go to her active listing. I'm hosting Oksana's listing open this Sunday. There's the property. I'm gonna go up into the URL and I'm gonna copy that URL. And then I'm gonna go over to Facebook or whatever social site. And I'm gonna paste the URL. Let's see if we can do this. I'm not a robot. When you post the URL, if I can't get in here, you guys are gonna just have to go try this on your own. Okay, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna mess up. When you go post that URL, it's gonna create a really beautiful button. So you're gonna take the URL out of the content then, and you're gonna type, come visit me at my open house this weekend. Click below for all of the property features, photos, and price. When they click the link, your command has specific settings. There's 4. One is they can look at 2 properties and they have to register. One is they can look at 10 and they have to register. One is they have to immediately register. And one is unlimited looks, never registering. I wouldn't do that one. I think mine's set on 2. So they can go see the property. It's gonna ask them to register. When they register, you get a notification that you captured a lead. This costs $0. So every time you share on social media, if you wanna use your website link or the button that's gonna get you the ability to capture leads, okay? So I want to share that with you guys, I'm gonna go real quick, because we have blessing bags today. Career night is on the 16th. If you guys haven't shared this, just go out on social media, we'd love for you to share it. Send it out to your database, we are doing scholarships for real estate classes. And I will be here on that Tuesday leading that session. Our listing contest is still going. Last week, Kendall Stoles won the prize. And we start again tomorrow, right, with your training, so Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll do our drawing next Monday, so stay engaged in that. We've got lots of prizes going on. December calendar is out. And so if you haven't, take a look at that, but today, right after this session, we're gonna assemble the blessing bags. Bo, are you gonna be able to help them get started? And we're just gonna go down the assembly line and fill them and put the note and create those. You guys are gonna take those out and give them out in the community. And then tomorrow we have a contract class with Deandra. And then on Wednesday evening, we're doing our center pop workshop. Okay? Which is tomorrow. So if you're coming to that, maybe bring a snack, a bottle of wine if you want, and we'll have a good time. There's 15 or 20 of us. Blessing bags are today. If you have not RSVP'd, our black and white gala is next Friday. It is a semi-formal and it's at the Pam Miller Downtown Art Center. I think we're up to like $1,500 in prize giveaways. So you just gotta show up. We're gonna give you a RSVP with.
I did, I'm not sure. It's a Madison,
Yeah, I'm just seeing this.
I think I did one.
So you show up, we're gonna give you raffle tickets, you're gonna put your tickets in buckets, we're gonna draw a winner for each of the prizes. It's gonna be a lot of fun, we have live music, food, it's gonna be really fun. And then this I have here, I'm gonna put this here at this table. This is the January giveaway, okay? So what this is, the date for this, I think it's January 20th. We're gonna run it from 3 to 7 PM. You can do all 4 hours, or you can do it from 3 to 5 or 5 to 7, it doesn't matter. But essentially, we're gonna give you a promotional packet. You're gonna go promote to your database that you're giving away a $1,200 Valentine's Day getaway. It's $60 to participate, okay? So if you wanna participate, sign up on this. We'll get you all the resources we're building. And so what happens is on the 20th, people are gonna call in and enter to win. When they call in, you're gonna ask for their name, phone number, email, mailing address, and birthday. That's the data you need for your database. You're gonna ask them who they know that may be buying, selling, or investing in real estate in the next 12 months. And then if they know anybody who would like to explore a career in real estate. So those questions are what they answer, they get entered to win, and then we will do a big live drawing that evening around 7:50.
All your conversations will be that it is your giveaway that you're doing for your clients.
You
So
can mark
through the
it,
resources deliver a big package, you're gonna give somebody this incredible package and it's only going to cost you $60.
$60.
So,
The night at 21C was like $1,000. It is on Valentine's night. We have a reservation at Frank and Nino's and a $200 dinner gift card. So total package is around 12.
you'll market it from you.
You market it as your
Market it from
giveaway,
you.
not my office is doing a giveaway. You market it to your database as I'm doing a giveaway on this date. Okay? That's all I have.
All right, I'm gonna give you a real quick one.
Okay.
Okay, so right now, you're between now and the end of the year, you're gonna see a lot of people that are gonna be slowing down, sitting at home, maybe not doing anything, and you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do with your time. This is a great time to make just basically what we would call a care call. You can take a picture of this, you can tweak it any way you want. I'll give you an idea. Right now, so far, last week I got 1 care call, someone called me to care on me, and today I've had 3 already. And then it's one strategic thing, right? Hey, Bo, what's going on? I'm just driving along. Scott Toombs called. He goes, hey, I'm just driving down the road and I was thinking about how's everything going? And it's going well, so we're just chatting away and everything like that. Man, how did your Thanksgiving go? Went well. Did you guys travel or anything? No, we stayed home. Good, kids good, baby's good, awesome. Man, what about this snow? What about winter? What about cold? What about the holidays? Whatever one you want, you're gonna basically just say, so what are your plans? You guys staying in town? You leaving? You're gonna go see your folks? These are people that you know. You've got 100 close people that you can have this conversation with. Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, hey, if I don't see you, right? Have a fantastic new year. Hope 2026 is a big year for you. Oh, I appreciate that. You too. And hey, listen, you know of anyone with any real estate plans this year? I'd love to help them. So that line right there, you're doing one thing. You might get a referral, but you're reminding them you're in real estate because what are they getting ready to do? Getting ready to close out the end of the year, gonna talk to lots of people, they're gonna see people, they're gonna be. Guys, your care calls, you should be making minimum once a quarter to your top 100, 150, 200 people. Stay close to them. Remind them you're in the business. And there's no one you're gonna talk to that you shouldn't be able to end the call with that. Well, listen, hey, I appreciate you sharing that with me. And yeah, we're gonna be there. Awesome. And hey, listen, keep in mind, if you got any friends or people you know that got real estate plans, I'd love to help them. Right? It's just, it's the conversation that we have. And they'll say, "Oh, if we do, we'll let you know." Right? But at the end of the day, guys, you have one goal with the care call. You have one goal with coming from contribution. That's just a reminder you're in the business. Most people you talk to may not be in the business to buy a house right now, but they're gonna bump into people that are top of mind. One call a quarter, 4 quarterly calls as part of your 33 touches. The other 29 electronic, other kind of ways that you can do it. I know they're hitting your stuff on social media, but the next time you shoot a video and put it on there and it's up for 4 days, look how many people watched it. 7, 8, maybe, right? So just a great opportunity for them to hear your voice. So between now and the end of the year, as things start slowing down, you start scrolling your phone, giving them a shout. Oh, you'll feel better. They'll feel better. I mean, I'm not kidding. I've literally had last week and through today so far, I've had 4 people call. Now, some of them are homers. They take a class from me, they go, oh. With third balls. Like, kind of pick up on that, right? Yeah. So, but the interesting thing is, Scott called me and he does it religiously. So, anyways, that's all I've got. So, we show you the blessing bag. We got the whole premise on it.
These are amazing. Did you guys color those or how did you go?
Oh, one day, all the zero, like this.